Hello, folks. Welcome to the 2025 NFL season preview. This time we go to the NFC North, a division that a lot of folks have been saying that this is the toughest division, and I agree with you guys. It is the toughest division, and these predictions that I'm going to give you might go with a disagreement or agree. So let's get to it. Without further ado, 2025 NFL preview, the NFC North. All right, in fourth place, last year I had the Vikings at fourth place, and I got the Vikings at fourth place with a 7-10 record. Here's what I have from Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy is their starter this season. All questions surrounding on him, and Jordan Addison, their second star receiver, is suspended for 3 games as of recording. Also, they just traded Harrison Phillips, their defensive tackle, to the Jets as of recorded today as well. So, Brian Flores is a good coach. I think the defense will carry their momentum. The question is going to be on J.J. McCarthy's shoulder. He is coming off an injury that, we could see him as a starter last season, but unfortunately ended up missing the 2024 season. So now here in 2025, it's not some big shoes to fill, but it's a year to show the world what you're made of. I think the ceiling, if they take down the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, I think they go 9-8, maybe sneak in that playoff spot. The worst scenario, if JJ isn't the guy from Michigan, I do think they would go 5-12. But I think the Vikings will go 7-10 with J.J. McCarthy under center. In third place, I have the Chicago Bears. I know you Bears fans want to ask me, well, we have Ben Johnson. We got Caleb Williams. We're going to win the division. We just won the offseason. I don't even care if you guys won the offseason or not. All I know is that you guys are going to win 8 games. I can give you 8-9 record. Here's why. They did win the offseason, of course, with Ben Johnson hire, fixing the O-line, bringing in some defense players, and plus Dennis Allen's the defense coordinator. My only question is, can Ben Johnson develop Caleb Williams to what he did to Jared Goff? Now, I know this division is tough, and there are some high expectations with the Bears. For mine, I am right there with the Bears' expectations, but the question is on Caleb Williams, and I think he will do a tremendous year 2 after. Yes, year 1 was not what everybody expected, but this year could be the big year for the Bears. And plus, a lot of people want the Bears in the playoffs, and they have predicted them to go to the playoffs. The ceiling, I can put them at 10-7. If they could get wins against Green Bay, maybe they do split against Dan Campbell and the Lions, and maybe, just maybe, split with the Vikings. They could get 10-7, and yes, they could probably sneak in that 7 or 6 seed in the playoffs. The worst scenario, and this is not much of a worst scenario, if Caleb Williams cannot get developed and the offense is not the way they were planning to, but the defense is carrying their weight, I will say a 7-10 record, which would be good for Ben Johnson in his first year as the Bears head coach. I got the Bears going 8-9, but falling short to the playoffs. At second place, I have the Packers with a 10-7 record. As Matt LaFleur is the head coach, I want to pick them to win the division, but it's hard to pick the Lions because, yes, they have changed their coordinators, and they still have a quarterback in Jared Goff. But back to Green Bay really quickly. What is the highest expectations for Jordan Love with a new wide receiver, Matthew Golden? Now, the Packers, since the Lions dominated, they have not beaten the Detroit Lions since the Lions have won a division back-to-back. Can they contend with the Lions this year? I do think so. I think they can. They have a good roster, young wide receivers, plus Romeo Dobbs, which as of right now could be cut or getting traded as well. So yes, you probably have Matthew Golden, Christian Watson, and Jalen. What's that guy's name? Oh, Jay, I forgot, but he has his number 3 receiver. Their ceiling is a bit high. If they do, and I'll say this, if they do sweep with the Lions, because yes, they got new coordinators, and if they do get wins against Chicago, they sweep the Bears, and maybe they split with the Vikings, I see them in 11-6, and they could win the division once and for all to end the Lions' reign in the NFC North. But the floor, and this is not much of a floor, if they don't get the production from Jordan Love to Matthew Golden connection, which he is a first round wide receiver, respect to the Longhorns. And their defense is not that good. Again, they did lose Jair Alexander, which their cornerback situation is going to be a question. If that secondary doesn't get them to where they want to, I think it's 9-8 for their floor, but I have them 10-7 just in the playoffs, and they will be playing the Lions in the playoffs. I'll get to the Lions right now. Here's why 11-6 for the Lions. And it's going to be tougher now with Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn now taking their head coaching jobs. But Dan Campbell, we're going to see what this team's going to look like without his coordinators. And I do believe Dan Campbell can take the Lions to the promised land without their coordinators. Yes, it is going to be hard, of course. The Eagles had that before 2 years ago. The Lions now, are they going to suffer the same thing with the Eagles that happened too? But that is the floor. If this is the same result as the Eagles from 2 years ago, of course, they lost both of their coordinators, they probably would slip to a 9-8 record. And yes, their schedule is still tough. They still have to play the division foes, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles, but their ceiling could be a little higher. Aiden Hutchinson is going to come back healthy. If he and the defense step up, Hutchinson is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and Jared Goff of the Lions, without Ben Johnson, they are scoring points. I give them a 12-5 record, and they would win the division once again. That is it for my NFC North predictions. Of course, for my NFC South, stay tuned on Saturday. So cannot wait to predict that one. Hello there. If you have not seen my other videos, go check them out on my channel. Of course, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below your NFC North predictions in the comment section below.